Good morning, all of you. How are you? Hope you will fine. Today we are here to understand about context API. So first we need to understand that what is context and why we use it. React hooks provide a concept called context. First we need let us understand that before context, what happens? Before context, we have to call at every level of component. We have to call a component means that here let us see here on the screen app.js, component a.js, component b.js, and component c.js. These are the components. In this, app.js is a parent component and these three are child component. As we are seeing that app.js is a parent of component a, and component A is a parent of component B. Component B is a parent of component C, and if we want to change something in component C, we want to print something from component C, we need to call it from every level of component tree. So to remove this, a concept came in knowledge, that is context API. So, what is Context API and what does it provide? Context API provide a way to pass data through the component tree. To pass data means this is the data is passed. Okay, this is the data. This hi, hello, how are you? This is the data is passed data through a component tree. These are the component tree, and the data is passed without having the to pass props at every level. Earlier, what we are doing? We are doing that we are passing props at every level. That component B contain this contain, then component C contain, and when the context API comes in knowledge, it will remove that the mediator. This parent app.js is the directly accessible to component C. If context API does not there, then what happens? If suppose we have so many component, then what we have to do? We have to write at every level of the component. That will take so much time. That will take so much code. So to remove that, context API came in knowledge. Let us see before writing code that what contain context API. Context API contains three steps. First, what we need to create create context. The first step is this: we have to create a context. Okay, first we have to create a context. Then at next level, what we have to do? Uh, Second, we have to provide that provider that we had create some context, then we have to provide it somewhere, and then at last what happens? Consumer. Suppose we have created a context, and that will provide, a provider should be there to provide a context to child that needs the data. Okay, and the child that consume the data which is provided by the parent component. Hope you understand. Let us understand by the code clearly that what happens when we create context. So at this level, first of all, we have to create some cons, cons the code properly. Let me, what I am doing, I want to change something here. I want to change my name. That here is my name, Shubham. Okay, like this is my name, Shubham, and I want to change something here. Let's see. I have to create a const first. First name, that is create create context. As you are saying that when we create context, it automatically add here. So this is now the first step is done. We created the context. The second step was there. What is the second step? That provider. We need to provide the data. Provide the data somewhere. So now in return, what we'll do? We will call the constant that we made earlier. The variable that made, we will call now first name. First first name. This. Okay. Called, and to use the provider we need to write provider dot okay now, and this component will comes under this. Perfectly it is happening. Now let us see that what I am doing, and we have to pass some value should be like that. What I pass, I want to add my name, so SHUBHAM. Okay. So what happens there? First we create context, then we have to pass the value to the provider. Provide We have to provide some value. Okay, and one thing more, all the components comes under in between this provider. Okay, now the second thing what we have to do, we have to export what we have to export that first name. First name. Okay, we have to export first name. Now what happens there? And remember one thing, only first component should be first x default and others are not default. Okay, so this we create context. Second step, what we have to do, we have to provide the value, and the third step final, what is there? Consumer. Okay, so before consumer we need to import what we have to import first name from app. Because why we need to import? Because here we had export and we are using that component here, the component value here, that's why we are importing. Now now let us see clearly, make that see what's happening at the browser. It is showing hello, how are you, Shivam? It is showing because uh, nothing happens here. Now what we have to do, now we have to return something else, like we have to return the same first name and same thing, dot consumer dot consumer dot consumer. It's all right, I think it should be clear that what happens here. So next thing what we have to do, the consumer only takes the value of like function. It doesn't need any the JSX component. It only takes the function. So what we have to do, we have to create a function that should be that this and what happens here, fat arrow function, fat arrow function. Example, let us we pass a value first name, f name. This is the value that is passed through this function. Now we need to return that we had made this. Copy from here 4 plus x and this here. Now what happens? Let's see, this happens that f c. Let us see that what's happening. Create contact C. Hello, how are you? No change. Now see it properly. Now you can see properly that now it's not changing. If we add here Rivalry, now it should be changed. See what's happening. If we want to add something here, we can directly add, and component C is directly accessed by the parent class component app.js. No need to component A, no need to component B, and no need to component C. Is that clear? No need of any mediator. If we want to change something, then we can directly change from parent to child. It can be directly accessible from parent to child. This is only the thing is done by context API. There are many more things, but in this video we will only see that this much about basic about context, that what context do and how it will be made and how it can be coded in the code form. I think this much should be okay for you. Thanks for watching. Subscribe it, like it if you want. Thank you.